Hello my fellow chairs and welcome back to EU4. Today we're going to be looking at another one of my favorite nations in EU4, and that is the nation of Orissa. This is actually my favorite nation to play in all of India, and the reason being is they have some really solid infantry and naval ideas. If you guys don't already know, I love anything that has to do with boats, trade, all that good stuff. They get production efficiency, shock damage, trade steering, infantry combat ability, yearly legitimacy, tax, goods produced, prestige, trade efficiency, and naval forcement modifier. Another thing that I really like about this nation in particular is that they start out with these 4 vassals, so you can kind of vassal swarm at the very start of the game. On top of that, you start out with a really good 4, 5, 6 ruler and a about average Aries, a 3, 2, 2. But the important thing is you start out with that ruler who's an amazing general, and you can easily beat down in Bengal at the start of the game, who arguably, in my opinion, is the most strongest nation in all of India. So what is the plan today as Orissa? Well, today we are going to go ahead, conquer the entire Bengal region, the Coromandel region, and Burma, and maybe we'll even do some colonial stuff. Maybe we'll expand into Malaya a little bit, but we're definitely going for these 3 regions and setting up a trade and mega empire in that region. But before we start this video, I do want to encourage you guys to go ahead, slap that like button, and if you're new here, go ahead and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any of my other EU4 content. Now without further ado, let's get into it as my boy Orissa. Okay, here we are as my boy Orissa. We start out with about 10k guys, 7 infantry, 3 cav. And here we go. Our ruler is a fantastic general. He's a 3-5-2-1. As soon as we're able to attack Bengal, guess what? We are going to go ahead and attack Bengal using that ruler. So obviously, going to put him right on our army. Also, we are a Hindu nation, which is actually pretty nice. So if you're not familiar with playing a Hindu nation, you could, similar to Orthodox, you could choose one of these deities last until your ruler dies. So we're gonna go ahead and choose Shakti, who gives us discipline and siege ability. Later on we will be going with both Shiva and Ganesha, especially Ganesha when we get into a little bit more expanding. But as for right now, just to dunk on these Bengali guys, we're gonna go ahead and take Shakti. In terms of rivals, obviously we are gonna rival Bengal. We're also gonna rival Bahmanes and Vijayanagar. We also have a pretty extensive mission tree as Orissa. Obviously, the very first thing that we are going to go ahead and do is we're going to build up to our army force limit, and that's pretty easy because all we're going to do is hire the free company. And that puts us within 2 units of our force limit, and we can complete this mission. And we'll go ahead, hire an admiral. Boom. Merge these, send them out. And we will go ahead and start doing some of our estate stuff. Now you'll notice too, unlike most nations in EU4, we actually start at about 53% crownlands, which is fantastic. It actually means that we can hand out a lot of these privileges without taking too much of a malice. I will also take expansion zealotry, which is kind of a unique one, especially as a Hindu nation, but we do have a few major Sunni and Shia nations in our areas. So obviously Bengal being the first one that we are going to go ahead and attack. Brahmins, what else do I want to give these guys? Brahmin leadership, of course. And yeah, we'll do religious diplomats as well, along with Brahmins education. The Rajputs, we will establish the Rajput regiments. These guys are fantastic. They get similar, they are the Indian unique units, so you actually get additional morale of armies, reinforced costs, and they take less regiment drill damage. We're also going to do primacy of the Rajputs, increase Rajput drill masters. And let's see, just to handle our subjects, we are going to do subjects rights, so we get a little bit more of those diplo relation slots. And where is it? Rajput's noble promotion, I like that as well. And the Jains are pretty much like our merchant class, so we're going to hand out Jain political control. Jain clerical class, this one's good because that dev cost and cheaper state maintenance, indebted to the Jains. And yeah, oh, and the bookkeeping one as well. And the Vaishyas, we'll just go with the Vaishya Advisory Board, Patronage of the Arts, This one here, levy war contributions. This one is really nice. So you lose some of that monthly war exhaustion and you get half cost war taxes. We're also going to go ahead and do private trade fleets for later. And that should be about it. And I will seize land. So we are above 23. Some of the diet. And we do get a claim up here, which we also get a claim once we complete our mission. In terms of allies, I guess we can ally Mawar at the start here. I'm also going to set one of my diplomats to improve relations with my own subject countries. And really, that should be about it. And I kind of forgot, we actually also have an additional 6K guys down here in this province. So yeah, we actually have a lot of guys. We also completed this mission, so now we do have permanent claims on all of the Bengal Delta, as well as some of the stuff here in Andhra. Now, Bengal so far does not have any allies, so again, we do have to wait until December 11th to go ahead and attack these guys, which obviously we will do. And what I'm also going to do is focus on my admin, because we are going to be coring a lot of this stuff, and there's a good chance my ruler's going to die in battle, because my luck is so bad whenever it comes to this stuff. Is officially December 12th, so obviously, as I mentioned, I keep mentioning at the start here, we are going to go ahead and wage war against Bengal. We're going to attack them for Set Gayan, which I also have a mission for. And yeah, let's get right into beating Bengal down. And here we go, our very first battle against Bengal. This is going to be an easy, probably stack wipe against these dudes. I could also, if I wanted to, overkill it and get an extra discipline advisor. And it's guaranteed this is going to be a stack wipe. Like, they have no chance. Yeah. Bengal, you're done, buddy. And that was the majority of their army. They now only have 10K guys. So I'm going to go ahead and start sieging down their capital. My navy is getting absolutely whooped, so we're going to send them back home. And in this war, we are looking to try and take all of these provinces, which would probably, more than likely, going to give me a coalition. But to be honest with you, I really don't care because I'm Orissa. And yeah, only Jaunpur and Malwa would really care, so that's fine. And we did stack wipe them one more time during that war, so now they are officially down to 1K guys. We're going to go ahead and delete the free company. Don't need them anymore, and I'm going to unassign my ruler from being a general, so I don't lose 2 stability. I can also now complete this mission, which now gives me 3 mercantilism. And pretty much we just have to own Dhaka. Oh, it just has to be a core because we already own that province, and we have to be the strongest trade power in Bengal. So really not too hard. I'm thinking from here we are going to try and invade some of these nearby Rajput states or chiefdoms, just to kind of assert our dominance on these guys. But yeah, and I could probably pay off all my loans. Perfect. I'll fire this advisor, and we'll lower our army maintenance and just kind of chill for a little bit. All right, I'm thinking we're going to be a little bit crazy here. We are 1 whole Miltech ahead of Bahmanes. We have about the same manpower, but I think that we could actually beat Bahmanes down. Specifically, I want everything that's here in the Bengal region. As I mentioned earlier, obviously we're going to try and conquer this entire thing. I don't think they have this one subject down here. So honestly, I think we should be good to go. Yeah, let's give it a try. We have enough subjects. Should not be that difficult, right? Fingers crossed. Famous last words. We'll see. And sure enough, we actually stack wiped about 12,000 Bahmanes troops, and we're about to stack wipe this other, almost 10K stack. But yeah, we should be able to stack wipe. Boom, stack wipe all of Bahmanes troops. They are completely out of manpower. No more troops. And we're about to have free reign over central India here. Apparently, while we were in this war, we became the strongest trade power in all of Bengal. So the province of Dhaka is actually going to get a bunch of development, and we're going to get permanent claims on pretty much the rest of the Bengal region, at least up in this area. And once we expand into Arakan, we get permanent claims on lower Burma. And yeah, pretty much just trying to steer all the trade towards Bengal, which obviously that's our home trade node, and we're going to get a lot of bonuses or a lot of money just because this is like one of the richest trade nodes in all of India. in this war with Bachmanas because about midway through they ended up getting Miltech 4 and they merked up really hard. They literally spawned in about 30,000 mercs. We're just going to take all the land that we want and we're going to take as much money as possible, which is about 318 ducats, which is a pretty good pillaging. So we're going to go ahead and do that, send our troops back, and we're going to chill for the next, let's say, 10-15 years. And because of our freaking awesome ruler that we start out with at the beginning of the game, in terms of technology, we are the best. Kind of leaning towards quality ideas because, I mean, obviously we're going to need to have a good navy and a good military overall. And it does synergize pretty well, giving us additional infantry combat ability. I mean, otherwise, I could open up with Diplo ideas, giving us the extra province war score cost. Or even espionage would be pretty good for that additional aggressive expansion and the diplomat and siege ability and spy network stuff. So those are probably one of those three ideas are going to be the first ones I open up with. For our tier 2 government reform, I'm thinking we're going to go with the empower the polygars here because we're going to get additional dev cost plus another 10% infantry combat ability, bumping us up to 30% if we take quality ideas. Also, we have a unique government tier 1 government reform called the Nyankara system, giving us even more manpower and vassal force limit contribution, which is literally perfect for our nation since we start with 4 subjects. So let's go ahead and take this. Armies are going to be even better than they already are. I'm also going to renounce my era of peace, even though I have no manpower, but we're going to attack Patna and we're going to subjugate these guys. And that's going to allow me to complete another mission, which I mean I could, by completing this mission having 5 subjects, I just straight up inherit all my subjects, but we're not going to do that. I just want the additional vassal pretty much and the option to do that later. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to go ahead open up with quality ideas. We're going to have 30% infantry combat ability right off the bat, so our armies are going to be disgustingly strong. So we're going to be able to wipe out a lot of people very fast, and we are ahead in Miltech, making it even easier to go ahead and focus in on quality, at least up until we get 10% cavalry combat ability, which guarantees the extra infantry combat. Alright, we are going to go ahead and attack Andhra here. That's going to call him Bachmanas, who did end up allying our arch nemesis of Bengal. So we're going to make them break that alliance. Taking over Andhra is also going to give us a bunch of permanent claims on Vijayanagar, who will probably be our next target after that. Just so then that way, again, breaking up as much of India as possible before they form these solid blocks. And I'm okay if Mawar becomes powerful, because I mean, they're going to be my best friend the entire game. So, but anyways, let's go ahead and attack Andhra, call him a war, and let's beat up Bachmanas. I was also just able to just diplo-vassalize Bishnapur, so that's one more nation. When I click on this button, or never mind, I'm not going to inherit them, but I'm going to inherit these guys. But that's one more subject I just got for free. That's part of the entire region I'm trying to take over, which means I just need one province from Jaunpur, unless this one, no, yeah, just one province from Jaunpur, unless they take anything over here. So unfortunately, our ruler is, he's getting up there in age. I think he actually dies here, but we have a few pretender rebels we're gonna have to deal with. So I'm gonna move my guys out of our capital, and we're gonna have to deal with these guys accordingly. Yep, sure enough, our ruler is dead. And we're going to go ahead and select a new deity. Obviously going to be Shakti. Or actually, we're going to go with Shiva now. Don't need Shakti because we've already done a good amount of beating up on all the important nations here. And soon enough, we're going to go ahead and have Miltech 6, which is going to put us a whole nother Miltech ahead of Vijayanagar. Okay, so while we've been in this period of peace after that brief civil war, I actually diplo-vassalized Kachar after I diplo-vassalized Tripura. So we're getting very close to that point where I'm just going to go ahead and attack Bengal. So I'm going to give it till I get about 5,000 manpower. Then we're going to go ahead and invade Bengal. If you guys are curious about where my force summon is at right now, we can have almost 50,000 troops, making us, I believe, like the second best military power that we know of other than the Mamluks and Ming. Then, of course, Vijayanagar being the 4th strongest army in our area. And we've gone ahead and completely wiped out Bengal's army again. You know, normally in most of my campaigns, Bengal is always the thorn in my side. But whenever I play as Orissa, guess what? I'm the thorn on their side, and I kind of sort of kick their butts. So, yeah, this is for all the headaches they give me in every one of my campaigns. One thing I love about vassal swarming also is, you know, I defeated Bengal's army. Then all my subjects after that were the ones that actually full occupied Bengal. So now I can focus on Delhi, and they're all coming over here, and they're going to do the same thing to Delhi. That's why vassal swarming is so overpowered, especially because they have their own manpower pool too. Like, I have no manpower. In fact, I'm losing manpower every month because of attrition. But because of my subjects, the additional 3, in some cases 10 or 15,000 manpower, it really helps my nation just function without me having to worry about my own manpower pool. For our tier 3 government reform, we're going to go with expanded royal court. I like that reform progress growth, and the additional advisors pretty nice too. Alright, we're going to take this type of peace deal. Bengal is going to be reduced down to a 2-province minor, and that means that's pretty much the end of them. My boy Tripura, of course, getting their core back and 1 more additional province, and now I border Arakan, and we can start invading into Burma. Now, luckily, we don't really have any AE here. We have a little bit of AE here, but that's with all the Sunni nations, because we've been attacking Sunni nations since the start of the game. But, yeah, at least we have a few different avenues of expansion we can go into, and it's not even 1500 just yet. We're going to launch another quick war, this time against Assam, who is a Hindu nation. I'm going to have to insult them really fast, though, because I apparently have good relations with these guys. But, yeah, we're going to full annex them, force feed our subject of Kachar, all of Assam, and it should be a really easy war, because I'm just going to let my subjects do it while I just sit and deal with rebels. We are also, since we are so far ahead in admin and diplo, I'm going to go ahead and start deving for the Renaissance, because this is starting to get to be a little bit ridiculous, but luckily our capital is a cloth province and also a natural harbor. And I did just embrace the Renaissance, making us the number 7 great power. And now I can go ahead and pick up our second idea group, which is going to be diplomatic ideas. It's just going to help us out with a ton of our AE, and it's going to allow us to take a lot more land with that province war score cost. Alright, we're going to begin our conquest of Burma. We're going to go ahead and attack Arakan. This is going to call them Bozalana and Tangu. I'm going to see if I can't break some alliances up, and yeah, just going to do the same thing. Let my subjects do all the work along with my mercenary company, and we're just going to continue to expand unopposed because nobody really cares that we're taking this much land. Kind of love that name placement that's going on right now for my nation. Orissa. But we can now complete this mission, conquering Arakan. We get even more mercantilism, and we get permanent claims on all of Lower Burma. So continuing our Burmese campaigns. And again, the game just wants us to keep steering more trade to Bengal, and we're just going to keep getting more mercantilism from doing that. But yeah, we're going to start expanding a lot more over here into Burma now that we have access to it. Though Ayutthaya kind of stands in my way. I mean, obviously they are still pretty strong, but they have Pegu as their subject, and that could potentially be a problem. I'm also going to see if I can't maybe diplo-vassalize somebody like Kale, now that I'm a little bit further into this area now. Alright, the time has come for me to finally defeat my bitter rival of Bengal. We're going to go ahead, full annex these guys, and they're going to be no more. This will plunge us into one more war against Chagatai, but Chagatai is looking pretty big, but I don't think there'll be a problem. Alright, for tier 4 government reform, we're going to go with curtail, well, yeah, we'll go with curtail clerical privileges for that cheaper admin tech cost. And soon enough, I think we will be waging a war on Pegu next. We're about evenly matched, but I have the better militech, and of course I have better generals, so I think we should be able to win that. First thing I have to do, though, is obviously insult these guys. Alright, our ruler actually died in the middle of this war, meaning we're going to choose a new deity. Yeah, we're going straight into just choosing Shakti. Just give me the discipline at this point. Like, I'm okay with that because now we're fighting some extra big wars, and our ruler is decent stuff, but we're gonna need the extra discipline. That war with Pegu was surprisingly easier than what I thought it would be, but it's actually nice. We just conquered all Lower Burma within one war, allowing us to complete this mission, giving us even more mercantilism and diplo power. And yeah, we are almost there into conquering all of Burma. We just have to work our way up through the hills. So I guess really next is fabricating a claim on Mong Pai, and probably going to war against Kale once our truce is over. Okay, and what we are going to do next is we're going to attack the nation of Chanda here. They are allied to Vijayanagar. And the reason why I'm going in a roundabout way of doing this is because Vij is allied to China, Ming, Malwa, Chanda, and another random nation that I'm not even going to be able to pronounce, but it's just a lot easier for me to take down Vijayanagar this way as opposed to attacking them directly. Plus, I could call them a war, and that type of war, meanwhile, my war likes Vijayanagar a little bit too much, so we'll go ahead and do this war. And all I'm doing in this war is I'm just simply making Vijayanagar break their alliances with everybody. And Chanda did get attacked by Bahmanas, and they're going to get full annex. I'm okay with that. Like, okay, I think also it is time for me to just go ahead and inherit some of these subjects. They really aren't doing much for me at this point. Other than like Kachar and Tripura, they've actually been doing a really good job. So we'll annex these guys. Oh, actually, I guess they all went into Garjat, even better. So, okay, our truce with Vijayanagar is over, meaning we can attack them, but they're allied to Jampur, which you would think sounds like a horrible thing, but it actually works out because I need like 1, maybe 2 provinces from these guys, and it gives me a chance to break up their alliances as much as possible. And yeah, I think we could kind of handle these guys, especially since we're ahead of both of them in terms of technology anyways. We'll attack them for, I don't know, any one of these provinces right on the border here. I guess in the lore. Alright, for our third idea group, I'm thinking we're going to go with admin ideas. We still have quite a bit of conquest to do. And I mean, I could also go with economics, stack the discipline with quality even more. We're already making a lot of money, but I think admin's going to be good. We're going to need that governing capacity, especially as we expand into Burma, and maybe even later Malaya, depending on how I'm feeling here. Okay, with this war on Vijayanagar, we're going to do something like this. Actually, I'll wait till I get a little bit more war score so I can take this fort away. Bahmanas actually took a huge chunk out of Vijayanagar and even released out a couple nations from them as well. And now our country's looking very, very long, spanning across the entire coast of, eastern coast of India. And yeah, we got to start working on Burma here. India still really doesn't care that we're expanding as much as we really are, which is just crazy to think. Okay, so kind of funny. I've been able to diplo vassalize like all of Burma without having to fight anybody, and if I just simply attack Mong Pai here, this is going to call in Prom, Mong Yang, and Ava, which means I can pretty much conquer most of Burma in one war. At the very least, I could conquer all of Ava's subjects, and then, finish them off in another war. And I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to co-belligerent Mong Yang. That's going to call Lana. Really not much of a big difference, but we're going to be able to full annex these guys too. And completely isolate Ava. Okay, perfect. So, yeah, all my subjects own, literally all of Ava's former subjects are now my subjects. And as soon as our truce with them is over in 34, we're going to go ahead and attack them. Despite them being allied to Ming, Ming has like no mandate and is about to explode literally any second. And yeah, after them, we'll probably end up attacking Vijayanagar and then invading Kotte, plunging us into another war with Bahmanas while we integrate all of our subjects. As I mentioned earlier, truce with Ava, it's over. We're invading them. I probably am going to have to mark up because I don't have that much manpower, in reserve. But yeah, we should be good to do this. And like that, we were able to beat down on all three of these guys. Actually, Lan Shang put up more of a fight than Ming. Ming, I just melted straight through their manpower and stuff, even though they had about 80,000 troops. They have, well, you know, like no mandate, so their troops really suck. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead full annex Ava, and pretty much that just leaves us with conquering the rest of the Coromandel region in India and integrating all of our subjects. Okay, now we are Miltech 12, so we're like 2 Miltechs ahead of Batmanas. We're gonna go ahead and attack Kote, whose subject is Candy here, and who is allied to Batmanas, and Mawar is also allied to Batmanas, but I could break that alliance right here, right now, so we're gonna do that right now. And like that, our final conquest is over. Now it's just down to integrating our subjects, and we will have done this all before, you know, 1600, which isn't that bad. It's actually really nice. So I embrace colonialism, making me the third greatest power. Now, when looking at this list, obviously you'll notice Austria is number 1. Mamluks are still on the list, but there's no Ottomans. And I decided to look over at what I could see over in Europe, and Ottomans are pretty much done for this game. And it looks like we have a mega Austria. Obviously, they got Hungary, they got Bohemia under a PU. They're allied to, you know, Great Britain, a bunch of little Italian and German guys over here. And apparently, France is really powerful, as they also have Naples and also own some of the Balkans over here. It's just absolutely disgusting. But luckily for Georgia, they're having a good game, because guess what? Ottomans no longer exist, and they're allied to Russia. And like that, we just annexed our last subject in Burma. And on top of that, we officially crossed over to 1000 development, and we are now an empire, gaining a cultural union across, well, a small portion of our empire. But yeah, we are the third greatest power in the game with 1034 development. Obviously, we own all of the Burma, Bengal, and Coromandel regions. In terms of economy, we got a pretty decent economy, especially from production and taxation. We're starting to get a little bit going in terms of the trade game. And I could have a lot of troops. I could have up to 88,000 troops. Almost finish up my ideas. I mean, if I played for like 2 more years, something like that, or maybe about a year. Yeah, about a year. I would be able to complete my entire idea set, getting that trade steering and even more naval force and modifier. And also in terms of the missions, almost completed all of them. I just had 2 here, 2 over here, and the 2 at the bottom. So overall 6 missions left. If you guys are curious as to what other nations are my favorite nations in EU4, be it by region, play style, whatever, ask me down in the comment section down below which one you're curious about. Hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys in the next one. Chairman out.